Missouri Compromise of 1820. America was growing by a rapid rate. More and more states were joining America. This caused an issue of what states would be allowed to have slaves and which states couldn't have slaves. The pro-slavery Missouri legislators gave the pro-slavery part of Congress majority. After a long, bitter debate, the Congress came to put together many agreements known as the Missouri Compromise in the year 1820. The first agreement was to allow Missouri to join America as a slave state. Although Maine, which used to be a part of Massachusetts, would enter America as a free state. The second agreement was that a line would be drawn across the states at 36 degrees in 30 minutes. Missouri was an exception of being a slave state. This separated America between the North and the South. Slavery was abolished in the North, but still allowed in the South. Once Jefferson heard of the compromise, he described it as a geographical line, coinciding with a Marx principle, morale and political, once conceived and held up to the angry passions of men, will never be obliterated, and every new irritation will mark it deeper and deeper. The trade made it look like everything was okay, but it showed how the North and the South would compete for majority of the Senate. The Compromise of 1850. Following the end of the Mexican War, the U.S. won land that stretched to the Pacific Ocean. Soon after, when the territory of California asked to be admitted as a state, it sparked a new problem. Would the states in the West be free or slave states? Senators Henry Clay and Stephen Douglas managed to bring together terms and agreement with the Compromise of 1850. This compromise was made up of many intricate parts, which was designed to appease the North and the South. The Compromise of 1850 benefited both the North and the South. It helped the North by allowing California to enter the Union as a free state. It helped the South by letting the Southwest open to slavery according to a vote taken by the settlers in the West. This action, the ability of a state to debate whether it would or not allow slavery in their state, was called popular sovereignty. The compromise was also included the Fugitive Slave Act, which required the return of fleeing slaves to their owners. It helped both the North and the South by ending the slave trade in Washington. Washington, D.C.
Hey.
But allowed those who owned slaves to keep them. The Fugitive Slave Act required the return of runaway slaves, even if they were found in the Union during the time of their capture. It also forced people to pay a fine if they did not arrest a runaway slave. This part of the Compromise of 1850 was the most controversial and made many abolishments to further support their efforts against slavery. This caused the Underground Railroad activity to increase as fleeing slaves made their way to Canada. Cut. So a quick recap of the Compromise of 1820 and 1850. Missouri joined America as a slave state. A line was drawn to separate the North and the South. And a Fugitive Slave Act was made in America.